Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the ThyGap podcast. My name is Bogus Noog, and with me, as always, is
Being brute.
Brute. This week, we are doing attraction. It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not. Not for me, but for you maybe. But yeah, I heard it's not easy.
Who knows? So let's start off with our famous It's Not Easy template. Of course, we begin by getting into our socials. That was a trick question. So, Brute, where are we on Instagram?
@_ThyGap.
And on Twitter and Vero.
@ThyGap.
And our email is...
mindthygap@gmail.com.
Now let's not hold ourselves back from this seductive pull
Yes.
of the It's Not Easy template. The
Yes.
first is, of course, the context. In what context are we talking about?
The context of getting attracted is one, and the context of attracting someone is another.
Right. And
Two simple contexts.
yeah. And just to add to
I'm not getting into etymology and shit like that.
Okay. Because you never get into etymology and shit.
Nah.
It's me who gets into that.
Yeah, nah. Language is not for me. Don't care.
Yeah. Language, it's not easy.
Plug. Electricians. Electricians at work.
Exactly. I mean, as soon as the episode starts, like a bird dropping,
Yes.
the plugs just start.
Pachak.
Pachak. Just to add to the context that you mentioned, Brute, it's also a topic like this. I can imagine that conventionally people might imagine we are only talking about the romantic aspect of it. But it's not just that. It's also...
It is not at all that. Considering both of us bogus, it can never be that. Romantic angle is something, the fact that you and me are doing this ThyGap podcast together on every weekend, dropping an episode every Thursday,
Right.
working through the week on this,
Yep.
shows that we don't have any romantic life at all.
Of course. But there's a different sense to it also, Brute. You're joking, of course. But the truth of it is... The truth of it is that both of us are diehard romantics. We're born romantics.
We're
Brute.
born romantics. We're born with a ring in the hand.
Oh, yeah.
Rose petals and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So it's not just the romantic aspect. It's also in an interpersonal kind of situation, social situations, like generally how to be an attractive personality.
Yeah. In family gatherings, birthday parties.
Yeah.
know.
Not where you want to be. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
The college, school, offices, everywhere.
Yeah. So that does it for the context, bro. Let's move on to why is attraction not easy?
Because predominantly we are not a good looking population. Yeah, you see, bogus, the problem starts off with the physiology itself.
The genetics?
We are not Greece, we are not Turkish,
Uh-huh.
we are not Uzbeks or Pashtunis.
We're not Italians.
We are not Italians, we are not French,
Right.
we are not American.
We're not Spanish.
We are not Spanish for sure.
Yeah.
Least of least, we are not even well built like Africans.
Mm-hmm.
We are just Indians.
Yeah.
We have like the ridiculous diverse climatic conditions.
Chuck day.
And, we have our challenges with length, breadth, height, girth,
Uh-huh.
hair,
Uh-huh.
all kinds of things.
Oh, yeah. Hair is definitely not a small one.
Yeah.
Um,
What's supposed to be is a small one.
yes. What is
So,
not supposed to be there is quite
There's
bushy.
ample.
Yes.
Yeah. So that goes by like the first reason.
Lord, why have you punished us? This is definitely not the way this episode was supposed to go.
Yes.
But, bro, why is attraction not easy, bro?
So in what context are we saying? There are two ways we can put it.
Mix it up.
Mix it up? Okay. Getting attraction. Let me put it this way. I'll pick that one.
Okay.
I think laws of attraction is a very famous phrase, which there are movies made on it, books written on it,
Yeah.
speakers speaking on it.
Yeah.
So according to me, the first thing that is the prerequisite of attracting somebody is obviously something that we both have a lot
Oh, in spades.
in spades, is a sense of humor,
Okay.
right? Looking at our own country's stand-up circuit, we lack that.
Looking at our English podcast content.
We lack that.
We like that.
Looking at our own general conversations across the society,
Yeah.
we lack that. Looking at our own prime minister, we lack that.
Looking at the journey of our lives so far, bro.
Yep,
We like it.
we like it on the hindsight and also in foresight.
Yeah.
But one thing we don't lack, and which is really important for attraction, which
What is
is getting attraction, is being comfortable in your own skin. But because one thing we do have to take pride is the fact that even though we lack it,
Yeah.
we still do it.
We at least know
We know.
that sense of humor is
Yeah,
important.
that realization.
That's half the battle won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knowing your problem is always half problem solved.
Yep.
So sense of humor, and also for all our Hindi speaking audience, is a very famous saying, hasi to phasi,
Yeah.
right? Which is, if she laughs at you, that means she likes you.
Yep.
Which I don't know how it works because a lot of girls did laugh at me.
Yeah.
But you get the point, right? Like if anybody is at a bare level humorous or carries any sense of humor, they are bound to get attention, because who doesn't like a good laugh?
Right. And what do you think it is about humor that makes it attractive?
Because I think, again, being a student of humor, I think humor is a pure feeling.
Yeah, humor parts 1 and 2, special
Episodes, electricians at work, guys.
Check it out.
Yeah. But like I was saying, because I think humor is a very pure emotion. And if somebody has made you experience that emotion,
Yeah.
you're bound to get that dopamine hit,
Yeah.
right? And whatever might be the source of your dopamine hit, you always get attracted towards that.
Right.
I mean, you might have a big friend circle, but the one person that the whole friend circle will never hate is the guy who's funny.
Yeah.
Right? They always have the soft corner for him. They always look out for him or her, right? Her very rarely, because generally it's a guy who's
Talking about humor.
yeah, humor. Come on, like rare skills.
Yeah.
So the hatred. No wonder our English podcast has no girls. There's no diversity in our analytics at all. It's all blue. But that is the thing about humor, which I feel attracts people, towards you. If you are able to be funny, make a light note of anything,
Yeah.
everybody will definitely get attracted to it.
I feel like it has an invasive element to it, in the sense that all of us, when we are in social settings, we're walking around with walls put up.
Yeah.
Like we want to present a certain appearance.
Yeah.
And we want to conduct ourselves in a certain way. But when we come across someone who is genuinely funny,
Yeah.
it's almost like they penetrate through our defenses.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an invasion, but it's like a pleasant invasion.
It's a good point, because you get attracted to someone who makes you vulnerable. And people who are funny make you vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because have you ever experienced this? I think when you laugh for some person who hardly know, and that guy turns out to be funny, and you laugh for whatever he says or she says, you kind of half feel guilty, or you kind of feel a little naked.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this guy like made me strip my clothes, and I like that. I think that's the best way I can put as to why you kind of get attracted to sense of humor.
Which is always a weird thing for me to hear when you call me in the middle of the night and you say that on random occasions.
Like, tell me a joke.
I don't know. This guy just stripped me and I liked it. I don't need to know that, bro. Just the recordings.
Yeah, Bogus. Exactly the reason why this has never been a successful humor podcast or a comedy podcast. Two reasons. One is obviously the jokes that you crack, which are these. The second is using unnecessarily complicated words like what? Invasive? What did you just use?
Pleasantly invasive.
Yeah, you don't need that. Walls was fine. Like,
Hey, at least I
Walls
know.
was good enough. Don't have to be all like Oxford. Why suddenly off late you start becoming Oxford again?
At least I know it is important. Half the battle won.
Yeah, again, validating why we are not that attractive.
Sure. And that's why we are an
Losing
audio
bro-
podcast.
No, we are an audio podcast because we're Indians.
We are an audio podcast because the level of attraction is so strong
Yeah.
that if we came onto video,
You don't lick your screens.
my God,
The amount of short circuits.
the amount of legal liabilities we would be under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by showing our faces, we'll be, there will
Yeah.
be harassment cases.
People
against.
causing disruption in traffic.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
trying to find out where we live and
Complete pandemonium.
mailing us, dead rats or letters in blood and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which we want to avoid.
Like fish in the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subtle hints. But what else, Bogus? Like, what else do you think makes it not easy to be attractive? This is from the context of attracting people. So,
Yeah. Attracting people. It's something that you said, which is to be comfortable in your own skin.
When did I say this?
I don't remember. Maybe it's something I said.
This is the kind of stuff I tell you when I call you up in the middle of the night. Like, Bogus, do you know how you can attract people?
Nope.
This is how.
I distinctly remember this guy just stripped me in front of everyone, and I liked it. Okay, too much information. I'm
Yeah.
just your business partner.
Yes.
There are lines.
Yes.
What you do in
If
your
only.
private life, bro?
The lines that you snort, Bogus.
Needs to stay
the lines are no more there because you kind of.
Exactly. I don't tell you about the lines that I snort because we are business partners. Yeah, it is to be comfortable in your own skin. It is
Yeah.
one of the most attractive qualities that a person can have,
Yeah.
which is including elements of self-awareness and confidence.
Yeah.
Basically, anyone you come across that is seemingly comfortable in their own skin, it is such a rare quality that automatically you start standing out,
Yeah.
right, in between other people. And you walk around like you have, it's like you're walking around with a treasure, but people know it's there, but they can't take it away. They can't see it, but they want it.
They don't know what we have.
They don't know what we are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point that I made to you long back.
Exactly.
Which you very sophisticatedly made it your own point.
Because you forgot your own point. Right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
You know, I sow seeds and I don't care.
Stop
Bogus.
doing weird shit with funny guys in the middle of the night.
And you stop erasing the lines. Let the lines be there.
Yeah.
Okay? They were there for a reason. But yes, being comfortable in your own skin definitely is one of the biggest reasons why somebody would be attracted to you
Yeah.
or you would be attracted to someone else.
Yeah.
Right? It works both ways. I mean, I did this exercise quite often. Every time I felt that somebody was special,
Mhm.
you know, or I felt like, I want to be friends with that guy
Yeah.
or that girl, most of the times. Mostly it is that
Well,
girl.
let's just, okay.
You know, with girls, it's always like skin. Yeah, it's important. Like, more skin,
Yeah.
skin, please.
Yeah.
But it's always because, like, I always felt that, you know what, speaking to that person makes you comfortable because they are comfortable.
Right.
And that's a feeling that not everybody gives you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get, like you said, I think the word that you use, which is important, very simple word that you used is that rare quality,
Yeah.
right? You don't find that every day. So when you come across a person who's able to provide that, you kind of stick on to that. And that is basically attraction, right? So being comfortable in your own skin is definitely one way of getting attracted or attracting someone.
But it could also be like this phrase of English that we are using, which may not be easily translatable. Like I can picture our listeners going, okay, you're saying being comfortable in your own skin, but what the hell do you mean by that? So if we can go a little bit deeper into this, like I can give an example which is related to an episode that we did. One of the best ones we did, loneliness versus solitude, bro.
Yeah. Huh?
Check it out. So
Electricians at work.
yeah.
Plugs.
So how that relates to loneliness is it is the difference between being lonely versus being alone.
Yeah.
When you're alone, when can you say you are alone but you're not lonely? Is because when you're alone, you still enjoy your own company.
Yeah.
Because you can still enjoy your own company, you don't feel lonely.
Correct.
And when you come across a person who is comfortable in their own skin,
Yeah.
what it essentially means is
They're smoking alone.
they are basically going to be the same, whether they are in a crowd
Mm-hmm.
or they are just by themselves.
Right.
It's not going to phase them too much.
Right.
Whether they are speaking to someone with a high status individual or they're speaking to someone who is conventionally low status, it does not really change their behavior.
Right.
They're uniform.
There are no characters being played.
Yeah.
They're the same in the office versus at home versus in the friend circle, in a party, versus a conference, wherever they are.
Well,
Everybody seems to have the same image of that person, you know?
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say exactly the same in all of these situations. There's always differences.
No, you're going into nitty-gritties.
Yeah, but being comfortable in your own skin, that's what we mean when we say that.
Correct. It was self-explanatory, bogus.
Maybe not, so
We only have intelligent audience, okay? You don't have to treat them like kindergarten kids or golden retrievers.
no, we don't know who's listening. So it helps to spell
We
it
know
out
everything.
sometimes.
Only guys are listening. So it's okay. No girls are listening to this episode. They're missing out a lot.
And it's also important to call out the opposite of this. So one aspect we've mentioned is being comfortable in your own skin is what enables attraction, is what makes
Yeah.
people attracted to you.
And it's not easy being that
Yeah.
all the time, because for me, I think, I mean, again, I've always been comfortable in how I was made,
Mhm.
but I did hear a lot of people say about their insecurities, about their insecurities on what people think of them,
Right.
their insecurities on whether people will accept them or not,
Mhm.
about their insecurities of they hurting people.
Yeah.
I think that's another big reason why somebody is not in their skin, because they feel that if I'm myself,
Mm.
then, I'm going to hurt people. That is not attractive,
Right.
So yeah, it is that primarily.
Yeah, and these kind of insecurities that you mentioned,
Yeah.
when they tend to pile on,
Hmm.
what happens is you have people who
Bottled up.
they're either bottled up or they seek approval of others.
Yeah.
And it's like on overdrive
Yeah.
almost,
Yeah.
especially in social situations.
Yeah.
They tend to be very approval seeking.
Yeah.
And what these people need to understand is what you are doing there with seeking approval.
Mm.
It is not just bringing the attraction to zero, but it is taking it into the negatives.
Correct.
You're pulling it the other way, in the other direction.
Right.
So just as how you could be attractive when you're comfortable in your own skin, the same way, if you end up looking like you're seeking too much approval of others around you, then you will be unattractive.
Which is exactly the opposite of not being in your skin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there are degrees to it, but it really it really becomes a turn off.
It is.
So that's what people need to be aware of and be careful with that.
Yeah.
Um,
You need to be aware of it.
I mean, sure, it's half the battle won.
Yeah. You keep winning half battles. That's a problem.
That's about it. So, bro, what else? What is the another reason why attraction is not easy, according to you?
Being bogus, I think if you are bogus, it's really difficult to get attracted or be attractive. I think that's definitely on the table.
Mhm.
You should be like the framework of what not to be if you want to be liked or attracted by people, rather than killing people with boredom and unnecessarily elaborate terminologies and vocabulary.
Mhm.
Also speaking with that dull, dusky voice, as if like you're putting a dead bear to sleep.
Okay,
All these things make it very difficult for someone to be attractive.
wonderful.
Once again,
That made a lot of sense.
I'm on the T. I always speak truth,
Right.
bogus. So let me turn this question around to you and ask you, why do you think it's not easy to be attractive or attract?
Another reason why this whole attraction dynamic is not easy is we need to understand and come to terms with how it works in general, or at least how I've observed it to work. And it's not something that we might land on early enough. For example, when we are in our adolescent years,
Mm-hmm.
we're dealing with a lot of these things: attraction, peer pressure, perception, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's only later on in life that we might understand, oh, actually, it works in this way.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the aspect of appearance and how appearance plays into the whole attraction dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is, let's take one individual who is conventionally attractive on the surface.
Yeah.
Anyone objectively would say, okay, this is an attractive individual just by the looks.
Got it.
But if that is the reason why we're attracted to them in the first place, and then we start interacting with them or hanging out or engaging with them,
Yeah.
and then we figure out things like, okay, this person's personality or their character is actually not that great. They have a lot of negative shades to them.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't feel like I can trust this person.
Right. Bad energy vibe.
Bad energy. So when it comes to that, how I've observed attraction working, at least in my cases, the person still has the same face. They still have the same physical attributes that were once attractive.
Yeah.
But because of me getting to know them deeper a little bit, now that same face is looking ugly to me. The same physical attributes that I thought were attractive before are now turning an ugly shade in my eyes.
Yeah.
They're no longer attractive. And the same works opposite as well, which is if someone was conventionally not attractive,
Yeah.
if you could say they're average looking, or you can even say they're ugly looking, but just by the virtue of their personality, just by virtue of their intelligence or sense of humor or the things that they're doing, their actions, if you get to see that, oh, there's a lot more to this person, they are intelligent, they're clever, they're funny, and
Wise.
they're wise, and I can trust them.
Right.
And it's always a blast, hanging out with this person.
Right.
Now, that knowledge that I have is going to start coloring my
Perception.
perception of how they appear.
Towards, right.
They still have the same ugly face,
Correct.
the same ugly physical attributes, but those are no longer ugly to me.
Right.
Now, this person starts looking better and better
Right.
with every passing day,
Correct.
to a point where this so-called ugly person will end up looking much more beautiful to me compared to that conventionally attractive person.
Right.
So the reason why we feel this important to call out is because when we are really young adolescents, when we're coming up, we tend to value superficial things a lot, and there is a chance we could end up losing on some really valuable and rare people
Right.
because we don't value or we don't price them properly.
Correct.
If I can say it that way.
Yeah. So, firstly, I completely agree with your story, Bogus, which is your own personal story, where, yes, there are people who get attracted to the looks of you, and then they start talking to you, and they die of boredom, and they're like, no, not the right person.
Yep.
And then obviously there are people like me, after they die of boredom from you, they come speak to me, though I'm like the only other guy in the
Though
room.
you're hideous looking.
Hideously horrible looking.
Yeah.
Like there are animals which are more prettier than me.
Yeah.
But then they find solace and comfort and, real true love in me as a person.
Right.
And then they find a new meaning to life. And suddenly all these hideous looks that I have, are no more a concern.
Right.
And that is completely true. And the other reason, adding on to this particular point, where like you mentioned, people who might not be like off the bat good looking or conventionally good looking, but then the people have certain qualities which make them a better attractive person, which goes beyond looks.
Yeah.
In the same note, there are also people who don't have a sane who are always not in a good mental space.
Yeah.
I always found that people who are not in a good space in their mind not to be attractive.
Right.
And generally people who are not in the right frame of mind or for whatever reasons, I'm not going into the reasons, for whatever might be the reason, if they are having baggage in their head,
Yeah.
they will never attract other people, right? Which kind of becomes a very vicious circle. And the best way to identify that I came across is people who smile genuinely, who have only one version of smile,
Right.
are the people who are, always kind of comfortable with who they are.
Yeah.
Right. And that attracts you. People who genuinely smile. There are few people who have a very genuine smile.
Yeah.
And that immediately kind of softens you up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever experienced that.
Yeah.
And there are people who have that smile which is for office purpose. And then
Yeah.
there's a smile for their friends. There is a smile for their school or whatever.
There's a smile for social media.
There's a smile for social media,
Yeah.
which mostly is a filter rather than their own smile.
Yeah.
You will never feel that warmed you up, right? So the concept of practicing to smile, which is again one of the basics of psychological treatments.
Yeah.
If you are going through a depression or anything, is look at yourself in the mirror and smile,
Right.
and smile till the day you no more are afraid of smiling in the mirror. Right. And why that is important is if you become comfortable with your own smile, you are no more worried about who you're showing it to.
Okay.
And that kind of is again a step into being comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
So if you observe, and it's a social experiment that I have done and I know it for a fact, it's never easy to smile, in a mirror.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a person who has only one
weird.
smile. It's weird for multiple reasons. Whatever. The bottom line is it's never easy to do it.
Yeah.
But if you keep doing it daily, like while you brush your teeth or whenever you see yourself in the mirror, there comes a point where you don't care about how you smile. And then you automatically see the difference of how people smile back to you when you smile at them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how those in college when the principal passes by, he smiles at students and students are like, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But then there is one peon or one canteen guy or a stationery guy.
That the students just love.
They love that guy.
Yeah.
And he smiles at you and you just throw that wide smile to him.
Yeah.
Right? That's the difference of being attracted to someone, right? And attracting someone to you.
Right.
There's a lot of power in having a genuine smile, which is again not often spoken about.
Yeah.
So it is an extension of if you're free in your mind, which is often not the case.
Yeah.
Right? You're always having, as you grow up, in fact, there's a statistics that a 1-year-old baby smiles 4 times more
Oh yeah, I've heard something like this.
than
Yeah.
an adult
Yeah.
who's about 20 years old or 25 years old.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why you like babies more than somebody, who's an adult, or why babies attract more people,
Right.
right? It has nothing to do with looks. It has nothing to do with hairlines or jawlines or anything. It is all about throwing that genuine energy through your smile.
Yeah.
And we can't do that. Hence, it's not easy.
Yeah. And, not to plug or anything, but
Smile, a episode we didn't do.
no, I mean, this concept of being comfortable in your own skin and having a genuine smile. That's the key word. The genuine part is the key
Genuine
word.
part is a key word, yeah.
These are the result of a lot many things that happen underneath and in the background. Being comfortable in your own skin is a journey. Like, it is tough to get there for people who are not there yet. And there's a lot of, but eventually it is about knowing yourself inside and out.
Yeah.
And knowing yourself better than anyone else, and knowing your limits, and also knowing or accepting truth in life.
Accepting insecurities of yourself.
Yeah.
Or your flaws. I think flaws makes it more softer. I think accepting your flaws makes you much more at ease
Yeah.
to be yourself or be in your own, what you're...
Helpful. Everybody's flawed. Like, there are some truths and much more easier to.
This is the case with everybody.
We're all in the same boat. We did. We're into being comfortable. Eventually drive towards aspect of knowing ourselves.
100 episodes this episode. So listen to all the 100 episodes. One mega plug.
But it was not a plug.
Yeah, correct. That's what we say.
Well, what else? Not major topics, but small things also that play into attraction. One is intelligence. The lack of intelligence tends to be a turn off.
But-
this could be subjective.
Yeah, like how will you become intelligent if you're not very intelligent?
I mean, common sense. When I say intelligence, right? If someone does not have common sense,
Yeah.
that becomes an issue because it has nothing to do with education. Common sense.
I was just thinking about it, but again, see, isn't it contradictory? Some people do not have common sense.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And if they are being themselves or if they're comfortable in that skin of not having common sense,
Then it becomes attractive. Exactly.
Right.
These things play into each other. I was
Yeah.
going to say that because you could have someone who is not really smart or intellectual or, brainy.
yeah.
But still, if they have a trustworthiness to them, already I'm attracted.
Yeah.
Because trust is so rare.
Yeah.
I don't care if you did not read thousands of books, but can I trust you?
And like we mentioned it long back, and this is one of my favorite lines, that laughter is the highest form of trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're laughing to someone, the next step is you might be giving away your credit card to them.
yeah.
That because according to me, if somebody is laughing to something that you say or do, you have a high responsibility of living up to their trust because they've trusted you in laughing with you.
Right.
Right. And that's a huge responsibility. That's also the reason, I'm digressing a little, but also the reason why a lot of funny people have that burden constantly on them,
Right.
because people around them have put their faith in him or
Right.
that person to make them laugh.
We went into more depth in comedy. It's not easy for this.
Yes.
This point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you trust someone automatically, like why are we always, how come we never find flaws in our parents? In the sense like we overlook the flaws. Rather.
Yeah, we overlook.
Overlook the flaws
Yeah.
is because the level of trust we have over our own parents, they are the first people who we trust the most.
Yeah.
Right. And you kind of blow that concept out of proportion or blow that relation out of proportion. Then if you're able to trust somebody or if you're able to make someone trust you, the attraction will be in place.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, I feel this is an important point to call out because we don't want anyone misinterpreting this to think that, oh, if you have this quality, you can be attractive, but if you don't have this quality, you can be unattractive. It's like you don't have to be smart if you have trustworthiness.
Yeah.
You don't have to be extremely, brainy if you're funny.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have anything as long as you're comfortable in your own skin.
Ask us, we know it all. Like we've gone through the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, but there's also something about people who tend to have too much of a pleasing attitude. People who want to please too much. Bro, go off on that.
I hate them.
I mean, you hate the quality.
Yeah, I hate those people who do that also. Like, constantly being over courteous. The people who are unnecessarily happy on a Monday morning.
Right.
I have a whole joke on that. The only people who I find to be unnecessarily happy for no reason
Yeah.
and who are constantly rubbing that happiness on you
Yeah.
are probably serial killers
Yeah.
or psychopaths,
Yeah.
right? You got to be real.
There's no other reason to compensate that much for it. Yeah.
It's like you can't be happy after like having a hangover. Come on.
Yeah.
So the realism is lost. So when you find, okay, I'll just comment for myself. When I find disconnected
Mm.
while talking to someone and I get disconnected to the reality of things,
Yeah.
or I don't find things real,
Yeah.
that's a huge turn off. That's like not the kind of energy I want to be with.
Yeah.
And that more so happens when in general where people are trying to please you too much.
Right.
And when somebody is pleasing you unnecessarily, you can make out that they're going out of their way to please you.
Yeah.
Which is a huge, it's a big no. It's a huge red flag.
And the funniest thing is that is exactly the opposite of what they think.
Yeah.
Which is why they try to please so much, because they think, oh, this is the way to their heart.
Yeah,
or
they read
whatever.
the wrong book.
But yeah, that's the absolute wrong way.
For all the people who genuinely, this is my, this is what I always advise to people who try to please, who have that pleasing tendency.
Yeah.
It's like, be a pirate.
Mhm.
A pirate never tries to please you.
Right.
He's there with clear-cut intentions to rob your ship
Right.
and then go by his way, right? So be a pirate. Like, it's okay if you hurt people. Doesn't matter. It's for your own good. Eventually, people will start looking at you differently, and you will be much more comfortable with that.
Yeah, I hope people pleasers realize that the set of people that like them the most eventually are the people who want to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
That's the only reason
Yeah.
anyone would love people pleasers, because, oh, I can take advantage of this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why they tend to attract all the wrong kinds of people.
Obviously.
As long as we're talking about attraction,
Yeah.
this is the wrong kind of attraction.
And you know what is the part which I find it not easy with respect to attraction? You are supposed to say yes or no. It's not a rhetorical question.
I don't have to. You can just continue. I'm listening.
What I find so much for a conversation. What I find the toughest part of attraction
Right.
is what happens after I get it.
Ah.
That's the shit that scares me the most, or
Okay.
or kind of makes me very skeptical to know whether I'm getting attracted to the right thing or not. To give you a simple example, say I like a girl.
Right.
Okay, I like a lot of girls, but say this is one girl I really like.
Right.
I pursue the girl.
Still, weirdly, you only strip for guys who make you laugh.
I don't strip; they strip me.
Right.
But anyways, lines bloodied.
Yeah.
I pursue her. I'm kind of trying to turn on my charm, whatever, get her to talk to me. Once she talks to me, blah blah blah. So I'm fighting it out there, right? Because I'm really attracted towards this person.
Right.
And then finally the person reciprocates and says like, yeah, you know what? I'm attracted to you too. Great. You've done it. All the best. I don't know what else to do.
That's it.
That's it. Like, I'm done with it. I'm like, okay, I put in so much of effort. I won the deal, whatever, like, blah.
The chapters that come after that are
Yeah,
missing.
this is a blank.
Someone
It's
tore them
fucking
out.
blank.
Yeah.
That's the part that's scary. And that trickles down to everything, like say you like a watch or a car or a bike.
Yeah.
You like it so much, you're so attracted to it, like no matter what I need to get, you work hard, save up money, do whatever, and then you buy it.
Yeah.
And then almost instantly you're like, yeah, you got it.
That's it. The thrill of the chase.
Yeah, the thrill of the
gone.
chase is gone.
Yeah.
That is what scares me about getting attracted to someone. That skepticism that you get in your head
Right.
is what makes me think twice about when I instantly get attracted to something, like love at first sight kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I kind of now look back. I like take 2 steps back and I'm like, is it worth it? Is it real? Is it genuine? Do I see a lot of future here? Or is it just me playing games in my head?
Yeah. Would I be the same after getting it?
Yeah. And if it's a thing like a bike or a watch or a pair of shoes,
Right.
like, will I use it enough? Will I do justice to all the hard work I'll do to buy it or get it? So this is where we were talking about this point where how do you choose what you get attracted to?
Yeah.
For me, the way I choose of what I get attracted to is when without a lot of effort, when I see what I'll do with it like 20 years later or like, in the longer version.
Right.
If I don't see that longer version, then I'm like, maybe it's just a passing, maybe it's infatuation. Maybe it's just like a passing phase or whatever.
Right. And if we notice a pattern of this happening, which is, oh, I'm only in it for the chase.
Yeah.
As soon as I get it, now I'm not still attracted or I'm not content.
Yeah.
Now I know I want the next chase, then that should inform us that we are doing junkie behavior. This is basically junkie mentality,
Yeah.
which is you just want the next hit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's no purpose. It's
It's
just
like
the
one
chase.
plus, never settle types.
That's it. Yeah.
Like versions after versions of the same phone.
Yeah.
Like just the camera's placement is a little here and there.
Yeah. That should be a warning sign going off that, oh, I'm being a junkie. I'm being an attraction junkie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
no longer about the thing. It's about the chase.
Yeah. So you rather not get it.
Yeah.
Just have that one person, just to fulfill your chase
Right.
craving, and never, like, even if that person agrees, like, no, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to like this. Okay?
Yeah. Keep it going. What are you
Keep
doing?
it going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't break it.
Yeah.
Don't break my heart. How can you say yes?
Yeah.
Which is ultimately what happens to guys, I feel. Like, after a certain age, when a
Right.
girl kind of like reciprocates,
Yeah.
you're liking,
Uh-huh.
the guy almost is in disbelief. Like, seriously? Like, me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? This? The torso? What did you like?
Exactly.
The signs of prosperity below, above your waist.
Yeah. I feel like we've done quite decent forays
Injustice
into
injustice
also, as
Yeah.
always, to the topic as to why attraction is not easy.
Yeah.
Let's move into why it is important.
Like, okay, why attraction is important? I kind of would like to, one of my favorite quotes in Italian, which was told by some Italian writer, like, importante che non dor nanto monoprivilis.
Wonderful.
It means, like, what else is there? What else is there in life than
Right.
to be attracted by someone or be attractive to someone?
Mm.
Right? Like, I feel one of the biggest fuels for us to exist is to be able to do this.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to such esoteric levels,
Oh my.
then it goes to,
Yeah.
gravity and electromagnetism, and
Yeah.
basically attraction is built into the system that
System.
we live in
Yeah.
and the system that made us.
Yeah.
North and south, plus minus.
Yeah.
So-
Just to throw more terms, social beings,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
society, structural hierarchy,
Mhm.
power dynamics.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like collision theory, Harvard's theorem, or theory of relativity, just to throw more names. Fusion. Yeah. So how could then to exert?
Yeah.
Like,
Basically, why it's important is because life
yeah.
and more than anything else. Also,
People
yeah.
bring the money.
Exactly. It's just too. Yeah. If you guys subscribe more,
Probably,
yeah.
eventually,
Uh-huh.
there will be money.
Right. So that is one thing, of course. And it's a
Yeah.
very basic point, but it's an important point that can't be ignored. The other thing that I want to talk about as to why attraction is important, it's not exactly why attraction is important, but it's a warning or a call out, which is be aware that for people who don't naturally have attractive qualities today and they want to develop it,
Yeah.
don't overshoot. Don't desire to become the prettiest person or the most attractive person, etc. Don't desire for the extremes. Desire something like a 70%, 80% of it, and then that's the good life. Because if you desire for the extreme, you don't know what it is like on the other side. For someone who is extremely attractive and they can't control it, their life is not usually a bed of roses. So you might not want to really, aim for that. Careful what you wish for is what I'm trying to say. And there's a good news, there's a silver lining in that, bro, which is you think that you look at someone who's charming and who is charismatic, and you think, oh, I'm at a 0, that's at 100. I want to be 100. Maybe not, 100 maybe not the best setting for you. You might be the happiest when you're 60 or 70.
Yeah.
And that's all the hard work that you need to do. So,
Like Bogus, you mentioned, the ugly truth is everybody has flaws.
yeah.
So if you're thinking that somebody is 100, speak to them for long enough, they'll tell you their flaws. And
Exactly.
what they're not happy about.
That just
or-
means your measure is wrong.
Yeah, your measure is wrong. So there is never 100. There is no real perfection,
Yeah.
right? So always be wary. It's good that you aim for some kind of power to attract. But at the same time, never forget what's the baseline. The baseline is you got to be comfortable in your own skin. I mean, to give you an example, Bogus,
Yeah.
because you observe this a lot. Everybody likes women in heels.
Right.
But how many women are comfortable wearing heels all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, mic drop.
That's great, bro. Supplying your own mic drops.
But it makes so much sense.
Right.
Ask Sofia Vergara.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she like, I always want to wear heels, but my heels hurt wearing heels. That's what she says in Ellen.
I'm sure it's not just her heels that hurt. Probably
Yes.
her back hurts as well.
So many things.
Bless her soul.
It's a linear impact.
God bless her soul and the gifts
Oh,
He has given her
and to us
and to us
through her.
through her.
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Wish there were more Colombians. But yeah, that's why it's important.
That is why it is important. It's important to understand, what we want and how much we want.
Yeah.
And it's important to understand how exactly to get into the attraction game
Yeah.
and how working on ourselves and realizing ourselves itself is like a shortcut to becoming
Attractive.
attractive to others.
Correct.
We don't have to do superficial shit.
Yeah.
So that about covers as to why attraction is not easy.
It's not easy.
And as we always say, ThyGap Podcast, subscribe
And share.
and share.